However, even with this knowledge, the team is unsure of how to proceed. The enemies are relentless, and their tactics are more sophisticated than ever. Jing Li's connection to the scroll grows stronger, but so does the fear that he may not be able to control it. His team Li Cheng, Lu Mei, and the others remain by his side, offering their support. But they all know that the final battle will be a fight to the death. The chapter ends with a dramatic confrontation that sets the stage for the ultimate battle. Jing Li, knowing the full extent of the power he wields, prepares to face the enemies head-on. The outcome of this battle will determine not only his fate, but the future of the entire world. The stakes have never been higher for Jing Li and his team. After the intense confrontations in previous chapters, they find themselves facing the ultimate battle against their enemies. The final showdown has arrived, and the entire world's fate now rests on Jing Li's ability to control the power of the scroll and defeat the powerful group pursuing it. Jing Li's team, though battered and bruised from their journey, is determined to fight until the end. As they approach the enemy's stronghold, they encounter one final series of challenges that test their resolve. Each of the team members has been pushed to their limits, but they are driven by the desire to protect the world from those who seek to use the scroll's power for evil. Meanwhile, Jing Li's connection to the scroll grows even stronger. He can feel the immense power inside it, but with that power comes a sense of fear and doubt. The scroll is more than just a weapon, it's a force of nature, and Jing Li worries that he may not be able to control it much longer. He knows that in the wrong hands, it could bring about untold destruction. As they infiltrate the stronghold, they face their greatest enemies yet, people who have been planning this moment for centuries. The ancient group behind the attacks reveals their true motivations. They want to use the scroll to create a new world order, one where they hold all the power. The team realizes that this battle isn't just about survival, it's about protecting the future of the world itself. In a dramatic series of battles, Jing Li and his team face off against the enemies in one final, epic confrontation. The fights are intense, with both sides using every trick and skill they have. Jing Li knows that the only way to end this is by defeating the leader of the enemy group. As the fight reaches its peak, Jing Li finally gains control of the scroll's power, using it to defeat the enemies and bring an end to their centuries-old plan. The chapter ends with Jing Li standing victorious, but the victory comes at a great cost. The scroll's power has taken a toll on him, and while they've won the battle, the future remains uncertain. With the enemy defeated, Jing Li and his team are left to pick up the pieces and rebuild, but they know that their journey is far from over. The aftermath of the final battle leaves Jing Li and his team in a state of both victory and uncertainty. After defeating their enemies and putting an end to their centuries-old plan, they now face the consequences of their actions. While the world is momentarily at peace, Jing Li knows that the danger isn't fully over. The battle may be won, but the power of the scroll and its potential still weighs heavily on him. Jing Li and his team, although physically exhausted, begin to reflect on what they have been through. The scroll, now fully in his control, remains a constant reminder of how much power he holds. However, this power comes with its own challenges. Jing Li realizes that, despite having defeated their enemies, the responsibility that comes with the scroll has not gone away. The world may be safe for now, but he knows that other threats could still rise in the future. During this time of reflection, Jing Li spends more time with his friends and allies, including Li Cheng and Lu Mei, who have stood by his side through the toughest moments. Their bond has only grown stronger, and they find themselves grateful for the journey they've shared. However, there is still uncertainty about what the future holds for them. While they've defeated the immediate threats, they wonder if there are more enemies lurking in the shadows, waiting for their moment to strike. As the chapter unfolds, Jing Li is faced with the decision of what to do with the scroll. He understands that it cannot be destroyed easily, and keeping it could attract new enemies. But he also knows that the scroll's power is too great to simply leave in the wrong hands. He must make a choice: continue to guard it, or hide it away where it can never be found again. The chapter ends with Jing Li contemplating his next move. Although they've won, he knows that the journey is far from over. The peace they've fought for is fragile, and the future remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: Jing Li and his team will continue to protect the world, no matter what dangers lie ahead. Jing Li and his team face the consequences of their victory and the challenges of maintaining peace in a world still uncertain. After the intense battles and defeating their enemies, the group begins to realize that even though the immediate threats are gone, their journey is far from over. The scroll, which has been the center of their conflict, is still a source of great concern. Jing Li is tormented by the weight of the power it holds and the fear of it falling into the wrong hands. He begins to question whether keeping the scroll is the right decision, knowing that it is too powerful to be left unchecked. Despite having defeated the ancient enemy, he wonders if there are still other factions that might try to claim the scroll for themselves. As Jing Li spends more time reflecting on his actions, he starts to feel the isolation that comes with being the holder of such power. While his friends and allies like Li Chang and Liu Mei offer their support, Jing Li cannot shake the feeling that the burden of the scroll is too much for one person to bear. The world may be at peace for now, but he knows that it could all change if the wrong people find out about the scroll's power. The chapter also delves into the emotional and psychological toll of the journey on the characters. Each of them has changed in their own way, shaped by the trials and tribulations they faced. Jing Li, in particular, is struggling to find balance. The victory they fought for feels bittersweet, and the team is unsure of what their future holds. The world is still vulnerable, and Jing Li worries that, despite everything they've done, peace may only be temporary. The chapter concludes with Jing Li making a difficult decision. He decides that, for the sake of the world, the scroll must be hidden away, its power locked so that no one can use it for their own gain. The team prepares to embark on one last mission to ensure that the scroll is safely hidden, and that the peace they've fought for can last. But the future remains uncertain, and as they take their final steps toward their goal, they realize that their story is far from finished.